So my name is Nadine and I am connecting in from St. Lucia, hence why it looks a bit dark in my background. It will start to lighten up. It's coming up to sunrise, so it should lighten up just shortly.
And you wake up quite early too, because it's very early there. Anyway, I don't know how when the day is getting bright, if it is still dark a little bit or so, because it's 6 a.m. there right now, right?
It is. It's just it's starting to the sun is just rising now, so it should start to lighten up shortly. So yeah, it's 6 a.m. here, but I still work remotely to the UK, so being up at this time is fine. And generally in the Caribbean, people are up early anyway, so it's normal.
That's interesting. Okay, so I'm not going to be feeling bad now that I wake you up early.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, Nadine. Give us a little presentation of yourself. Where did you grow up? Now, you will see somewhere written here that everyone has a story to share. So when we bring people to the podcast here, we try to concentrate on their story. So we're going to concentrate on you and what you do. So start with where you were born and growing up, about those early days of your life. Please go.
Sure. So, as I said, my name is Nadine. I am born and raised in the UK. So, I was born in London to my parents, obviously, and I have two siblings. I'm the middle child. Sometimes I call myself the neglected child when I'm looking for some sympathy, but not really. So yes, as I said, I was born and raised in the UK. My kind of early childhood, my parents were married, they separated and divorced. I lived with my mum initially for a few years, and then myself and my brother transitioned to my dad because we share the same father, and my sister went to stay with another person. So our family was broken up when I was quite small. And I was raised by my father from the age of about 7 until my adulthood, essentially. So that was a big part of my identity, being raised by my dad. Like when I went into college and schools, people would say, "Oh, who do you live with?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I live with my dad." And people were like, "You live with your dad?" Like, really? So I'd be like, yeah, to me it was normal, right? But to other people it was just like, oh my gosh, there's a single dad out there and he's Caribbean? Wow. That's amazing. So it did become a massive part of my identity, and I always my dad's my hero, and he's a massive part of my life. Not to say that my mum isn't. I still have an amazing relationship with her, but he was very much he molded me during my formative years, let's just say that much. So I was really academic, a high achiever, did well in school, went to uni, college, then went to university. I was about to say I went twice, but I think I probably went about 4 times, got my master's, and did some other courses. I am looking at doing a doctorate. It's in my back of my brain saying, Nadine, do this doctorate. So I'm quite academic. I'm a social worker by profession. I have an absolute love of helping people. That's certainly my passion. And I in the early parts of my career, I felt a bit anxious. There's a lot of imposter syndrome that can happen. I felt like, this little black girl is helping these people. Like, who am I? Who am I to be able to help? So there's a lot of imposter syndrome and just kind of not really understanding myself and my worth and my power, essentially. So as I kind of went up in the ranks in social work, I got into my stride, really, really enjoyed serving the children and families that I worked with. But I did get to a point where I was like, I don't know where I fit anymore. So the pandemic was crazy. The pandemic was absolutely horrific for so many people, sadly. For me, I am amazingly blessed because it was an opportunity that I grabbed with both hands and made some amazing decisions as a result. So I was working as a senior leader in a local authority in London at the time when the pandemic hit. And I had just gone through some some personal challenges. So I was off work for a little while, and then just started really intentionally thinking about my career, what I wanted to do, what my life was going to look like. I had some personal challenges as well. So I'd recently gone through a separation, and just kind of felt like I kind of lost myself. Like I was like, who am I? I feel like I've failed. I think that's a big thing for me. I'm a person who doesn't like to fail at anything. As I said, I was very academic. I was kind of went up that traditional route of education. Everyone was proud. Oh my gosh, Nadine's so great. She's now a manager. She's got her degree. She's done her first degree. She's done her second degree. So I was very much a person that has done things, I want to say the right way, but kind of the trajectory was great. I got married. I was then hoping to have children. And that wasn't happening. So at the point of 2020, I was just, well, in 2018, to be fair, actually, I was just feeling a bit stuck. Like I was falling out of love with social work. I was separating from my then husband. And it was just, I just felt like, is this life? Like life feels, yeah, I don't like it. Is this what it is? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's basically what was happening for me. So once the pandemic hit, I had the space to be at home. I was working pretty much from home at the time, and I just went on a journey of self-discovery. I put on my later in the year, I put on my social media that I was going to cocoon myself, and I was just going to do some real intense work to understand who I was as an individual, who I was as a human, and just really think about and design my life. So I got focused on my health. I got focused on my plans for the future, what that looks like. And I very much identify with my Caribbean heritage. So my mum is Jamaican, my dad is from St. Lucia. And I always knew at some point I wanted to come to the Caribbean to live probably in my retirement, you know, once you've kind of done all of the stuff in the UK, just come and then just settle and live and, you know, watch sunsets and all of that, sit on the veranda in your older years and just kind of enjoy the latter part of your life. I obtained citizenship here. It was a while ago, like back in, I want to say 2011, 2012. And so, because I always knew at some point I wanted to be here. But I did a process of designing my life, all 12 different areas of my life. And then I just decided, actually, my ideal life doesn't look like London. It looks like palm trees and where there's people that look like me. So that was pretty much it. It didn't look like London. And it's crazy because my late granddad, who passed away earlier this year, but he found it absolutely
Sorry about that.
Nonsense. Yeah. He had a really great life. He was 92. But he found it, he was baffled that I was thinking of moving back home, right? He was like, here's not your home. Your home is London. You was born there. We came over in the 50s and 40s and when all of that was happening. But London is your home. And I'm just like, no, the systemic racism, they don't like us too much. That's what it feels like anyway. And there's lots of things that are happening over in the UK at the moment. In a local authority that I worked in previously also, where there's a new review that's come up about a child that's been reviewed because of some of the treatment that she's received. And it just feels like, actually, I just needed to be around people that look like me. So I made a decision on the 6th of December, 2020, to move. And on the 17th of April, 2021, I moved to St. Lucia. So here I am, almost in my year anniversary. I'm very excited. I haven't looked back. I've been back to the UK twice already. But yeah, so that's just a bit of my story. It kind of just waves a bit. Interesting childhood with my dad. And then here I am. I feel like I'm retired already. I'm 43 and I feel like I'm retired in the Caribbean. But it's awesome that I still get to share my experience with social workers back in the UK and give them some inspiration because it's a hard job and it's important to have a vision and knowing where you want to get to and what it looks like for you. What does your extraordinary look like, and working towards it? So that's what I do now. I help people on their journey to extraordinary and their excellence.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.